Next up, we have an interesting session lined up for you on the topic Make Your Ads Work for You, the ins and outs of targeted marketing with paid search engine ads. This topic will be explored by a subject matter expert, Callie Pedersen, who is our keynote speaker of the day, and will help you understand how to make the most of your marketing dollars through paid search engine ads. Are you ready for it? Give a big round of applause for Callie Pedersen, CEO and founder of the Sage Agency. Come on up, Callie.
All right, so make your ads work for you, the ins and outs of targeted marketing with paid search engine ads. Oh, here we go. So I have a question for all of you, and really it might apply to your business or to your client's business, but is your business ready for paid ads? I'm gonna actually take a guess and say no for the majority of you, and that's just based off of the hundreds of Google ad accounts that my team and I have audited over the years, strictly from a targeting for profit perspective. So a lot of accounts that we see in Google Ads, the targeting is either not set up properly or it's not set up to target profit. You might be tracking impressions, eyeballs on ads, or you might be tracking button clicks, which is really great information. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your paid ads are bringing in the profit and the revenue for your business or for your client's business. So just for this talk today, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Of course, there's social ads that create brand awareness, and that's great for leveraging your brand and targeting people who are at the top of funnel, not really necessarily looking for your brand or your product, but it's great to get your brand out there. Then, of course, we have just the typical Google search engine driven by search engine optimization. But for today, for this talk, I'm really focusing on Google Ads, Google Search, video, specifically Google. Of course, there's also Bing, but I don't really work with that as much. And then you can retarget with both of these platforms, which we'll touch on as well. So before we get into all of that, what the heck is going on with the economy today? Are we in a recession? Are we not? Some people say we are, some people say we're not. Really, at the end of the day, I think we can all say that we have felt the inflation, whether it's in our business or just going to the grocery store. So what do we do as marketers? Do we stop marketing? Do our clients stop marketing? Do they pull back? I love this quote by Henry Ford: stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. Right now is not the time to pull back on advertising. It's not the time to pull back on paid ads, because at the end of the day, people are still spending money. We just had Black Friday, which actually overall the spending was up 6 to 8% compared to last year. And then the predicted holiday spend for 2022 is actually up 4 to 10% compared to the last decade. So people are still out there. And if you stop having your brand in front of them or your client's brand in front of them, you're going to miss out on that piece of the pie. So now is not the time to pull back. Now is the time to just get really creative and work with the options that we have out there. So these guys touched on it before. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about this happening. Google is threatening us marketers to take away our cookies, these warm, delicious, home-baked cookies that we like to apply to every website. They are postponing it to 2024. Who knows when it'll actually happen, but at the end of the day, it is coming. And as marketers, we get to prepare for that and get creative in ways of gathering other data that won't be third party. And then, of course, I'm sure all of us have heard, the iOS updates. This really had a huge effect more on Facebook ad management rather than Google ads. But again, it's showing that privacy is taking priority. People don't want to be tracked. They want to have more control over what information is being sent. And from a marketing perspective, this is taking away our granular tracking. This is taking away our ability to really personalize the ads as much as we have up until now. And so what does that look like? It looks like less data for us and a smaller pool to pull from when we're retargeting to our clients. Also, Google Ads is taking away some really powerful targeting features in 2023. So one thing that is really surprising to me is, as the second largest search engine out there, Google is removing their content targeting. I believe it's happening in early 2023. So what does that look like? It's really going to affect the hyper-targeting return on investment that we've been able to create for our clients up until now on the video ads. It means that we won't be able to target keywords, we won't be able to target topics, channels, URLs. Like, it's really going to have a massive impact. And Google even said that, or I should say YouTube even said that videos that drive conversions usually perform better without targeting. And my question is, perform better for who? YouTube, or for the marketers and the businesses who are trying to get a return on investment? So I just find it really interesting. This actually doesn't have anything to do with privacy, but it is a fundamental change that is happening in the industry, and that's coming. And as marketers, we get to pivot and shift and be prepared. Google Ads is also sunsetting the similar to audiences. So what that means is it really affects more display ads and retargeting. But again, it's that fundamental shift away from giving us the control as marketers to really create the same results that we've had for our clients up until now. So it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. What's next? What's coming? How can we continue to target for profit to make sure that we're getting the best results for our businesses and for our clients? And really what that means is privacy-friendly tracking solutions. So first-party data, also customer match lists, first-party data, their name, their email, their phone number, addresses, even the state they live in. This is information that you can create into a customer match list that Google Ads is pushing really hard right now, which I find really interesting. So Google's taking away the cookies, but then they're using us as the marketers to gather that information from our clients and then put it back into the system for them, which is, just brilliant. So customer match list, first-party data, this is really unique to your business. This is information that your customers has given you, so you can use this to continue to personalize your ads, re-engage with the information with new potential clients, and retarget to new potential customers. Also, automation. So again, touching on that, just feeding the beast, feeding the automation with as much information as possible. Again, gathering that first-party data to then put into the program. The one thing with automation, though, particularly from a paid ads and tracking perspective, is you don't want to just necessarily take what Google is recommending from your first-party data. So you always want to make sure that it circles back to what is your bottom line, what is your business strategy, what's your client strategy. Don't just take the automation for granted and say, okay, well, it's recommending this, I'm just going to apply that. You always want to make sure and bring it back to profit. Is it profitable for the business? Is it profitable for your clients? And something that's interesting is, at least with Google Ads, if you're involved with it at all, is Google really pushed a new campaign, which is called Performance Max. And they pushed that on us right before the holidays, thank you so much. But essentially, it is taking away a lot of our targeting capabilities as well, but it is still letting us apply audience targeting on a broad perspective. So the Performance Max campaign pushes out your ads to not only search, but YouTube, Gmail, shopping, all of it. And I see this as a fundamental shift that paid ads is going to become more of an umbrella. Like they're taking away our ability to choose what sort of campaign type we want. And that's also a big shift that we get to get used to and shift into and get creative. So nothing new, but targeting repeat customers. These repeat customers are more lucrative by 67% than targeting cold audiences. So gathering that first party data and using that to target similar audiences is going to be even more lucrative moving forward, because taking away our targeting capabilities, it's going to blow up the wasted budget, this wasted ad spend. So even though for Google Ads, I believe retargeting customers is more the cherry on top, I also foresee this becoming more and more lucrative moving into 2023. Something else that is extremely important that I don't see a lot of Google Ads accounts have is a brand campaign. Brand campaigns are fantastic. Even if you have a client who is very small and their brand is not really well known, set up a brand campaign. It's a lower cost per click. It's a higher quality score because Google knows that if someone clicks from your brand ad into your website, that they're going to have a better experience. Interestingly, I have a client who she sells fashion socks, and she's on the smaller side, but this Black Friday this year, and she actually really fought us on the brand campaign. She's like, why am I paying to, bid on my own brand? And we're like, you need to really set your place in the search engines and with Google and create that historical data. Well, interestingly, this Black Friday, Amazon and a couple of the other really big sock companies started bidding on her brand keywords, which is, kind of exciting. But also what was great is that she stayed in the very top search results because we had that historical data. So building your brand campaigns up I think, is a must for any paid ad account. Another thing that's probably not anything new, but long tail keywords. They are going to become even more important in the new year, particularly for targeting and also just for your general return on investment. So using my client's example, if you're bidding on socks, or let's just say women's socks, that's great, but that's going to bring in a ton of irrelevant search and just blow through your budget. Whereas if you're using a long tail keyword such as women's fashion socks with mushrooms, which happens to be her best performing product, you're going to target women who want fashion socks with mushrooms and maybe even add in frills, because maybe you're not getting as much search volume, which of course that's always a dance between search volume and long tail keywords, but long tail keywords are fantastic for your return on investment and your targeting. Just scale. Profit is profit. Test it out. If Google Ads is working for your business, fantastic. If Facebook Ads is working, wonderful. In fact, they work quite well together, and if you throw in SEO and high website conversions, then you've got just the marketing holy grail from a paid ads perspective, because they all support each other. But it's going to become even more and more important in 2023 to just test, experiment, what is working for you, what is working for your clients. Once you have an account that is rocking and rolling, you're hitting your return on investment targets, and you're attracting the right audience, start experimenting, start testing. This is my actual favorite part of Google Ads, is because you never know what's going to work for one client or another, one season or another. And so at the end of the day, they are taking away a lot of our targeting capabilities. Believe me, it is really frustrating. I feel for any Facebook ad managers in the room. You guys have been through hell this year. But, we're marketers, and we pivot and we adjust, and there's always solutions coming forward. So I appreciate your time this morning. My name is Callie Pedersen, CEO of the Sage Agency, and our main focus, our mission is to make more businesses profitable with Google Ads. I'm all about making sure the business is profitable, or else they're just not ready for Google Ads. I'd like to offer something to everyone in this room. If you do have a Google Ads or a Google Ads client and you're not sure if it's set up properly, or you just want to have another eye look at it, I'm offering an audit to everyone in here. It's a $497 value. Just put in Marketing 2.0 as the promo code, and we'll audit your account or your client's account for you. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we have some time for questions, if anyone has any. Yeah, small and medium businesses. Yep. A question that I get often is, Google Ads, are they better for B2B than Facebook ads? And again, test, see what works. But from my experience, I do find that Google Ads is better for B2B. I'm assuming a lot of us in here are B2B. But again, it's targeting a different audience. It's targeting a different part of the funnel. Facebook ads are not as high intent, whereas Google ads is a high intent search. The people are literally searching for your product and your business with their credit card in hand. So, in the back, yeah.
The most, Google or Facebook?
So I'm all about Google Ads. I do have a team member who is a Facebook expert. I can't do Facebook ads with the iOS updates and all that. It's just, yeah. So I actually love Google Ads, and we focus on Google Ads at our agency.
So yeah, mostly Google Ads. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with these changes you talked about, excuse me, do you think that is it better or worse going forward in 2023 and beyond with these changes?
For who? It's better for
In
Google.
terms of for the marketer, I'm talking about for the marketer.
Yeah. Look, it's difficult. Like I mentioned, the Performance Max campaign, they forced a lot of shopping campaigns into Performance Max right before the holidays. And I have yet to see or really hear much about a Performance Max campaign performing really well. I do have a client now, they're super high volume. She's actually getting a 33% return on investment on her Performance Max campaign, but you need a lot of data in the campaign. So for smaller businesses, businesses that don't have as much data in the account, it's tough. So yeah, I mean, they're making our job harder. They're taking away a lot of the control that we have, but we get to just adjust and pivot.
Yeah, but part of pivoting, do you think another platform is a good suggestion? Like Bing or something?
Like what was the last thing?
Like Bing or something like that?
So, Bing is interesting. I mean, again, I've only experimented with Bing a bit with some clients, and I haven't gotten the same return. The data on Bing looks really good, like that you can get really high quality rates, quality score, excuse me. It's a lower cost per click, but it's also a much smaller pool of audience, and you don't need as much budget. So I think it is worth testing, absolutely. And I have heard other marketers their clients do well on Bing, but I would only give it a couple of months, and if you're not seeing results, switch back to Google. But that's the whole thing, is you want to make sure that it's going to be profitable for the business, because if it's not profitable, Google Ads is expensive. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for this information. It's extremely valuable.
Oh, good.
So I do have a question. It's kind of two questions here. So a lot of the social media platforms, they're creating these programs where they offer like a marketing expert or, a specific rep to help them leverage the platforms and things like that. They kind of do what we do. And, what are your recommendations of ensuring that we kind of partner with the platforms when they reach out to the clients and things like that to kind of position ourselves?
Yeah, it's a great question. Are you referring to the Google Ads reps specifically?
Well, they have, Google Ad Reps,
Yeah.
Pinterest, Meta has them.
Yeah, so part of my onboarding with new clients is, and I say this even in my sales calls, everything, because not only, okay, the reps have KPIs,
Yes.
and they have certain monthly KPIs, and they are very aggressive. They're even aggressive with us when they find out that we're the ones managing the accounts. I've been on a lot of calls with reps, and at the end of the day, they're either telling me something I already know, or it's not profitable. So where I think, there's a lot of automation, and there's of course a place for that, and it's something that we get to adjust to. But at the end of the day, if it's not right for that business, then don't make those changes. And so for my onboarding with clients, I actually tell them, because some clients are like, oh, I know enough to be, whatever, and they make a change that they think isn't big, and it ruins everything. So I actually have them agree to, there's too many cooks in the Google Ads kitchen, so you don't make any changes. If you have questions, come to us. We'll talk about all of that. Do not talk to the reps, send them to us. And at the end of the day, you can't really control it, but usually when a client listens to a rep or makes their own changes once and they see the repercussions, they don't do it again. But I make it part of the onboarding.
That's awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And then also LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's affinity is really great for B2B. Have you been able to integrate that in some way when it comes to Google Ads and like having them complement each other? Or is it still kind of, are their ads still fairly new in the ad space and it hasn't enhanced that way yet?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and something, if anyone else in this room has the answer to that, I'd love to get more involved in LinkedIn ads, but I don't see the connection to Google ads at this point. But the audience targeting is getting less and less granular for us. So I think if LinkedIn is working, test it, experiment, but there's no real connection between Google ads and LinkedIn ads at this point.
So firstly, I'd just like to thank you for your time. It was a really
Yeah, thank
insightful
you.
presentation. I guess my question is more strategy focused. With all the targeting limitations that you're mentioning, and also just like the narrowing of scope for marketers specifically, do you foresee this impacting like psychographic development? Are there any areas that you would recommend we focus on more? I know that you mentioned long tail keywords, and like brand awareness campaigns are crucial to even really creating a space in which you could see like ROIs, especially profitable ones. So if you have any advice just in terms of maybe shifting gears or how we could better create those psychographics in general,
Really great question. So we, like at my agency, we use just Data Studio, which you can get pretty granular with. And again, that's coming directly from analytics and their website. And actually, I have someone on my team who creates very robust reporting. That's as far as I've gone personally, so I don't probably have the answer for you that you want, but I think it's just making sure that you're gathering as much information, first-party data. That's really going to be key moving forward, because everything's moving away from third-party. So, as a human being, I'm like, yeah, I want my privacy. But as a marketer, I'm like, I want to know everything you're doing. So at this point, I use Data Studio and that information.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So number one, again, everyone said it, but thank you for the presentation. Very insightful. I'm curious, bringing it back to Google Ads. What are your opinions about, focusing on Google Ads, focusing on B2B? what are the pros and cons of Google Ads versus like an internal sales team doing manual outreach? Because B2B, oftentimes I find myself, people aren't, in my opinion, people are not looking for solutions on Google and clicking those ads versus an internal sales team is like calling them, given it's the right time, place, money is right,
Yeah.
then you can find a solution like Google Ads, internal sales team. Should I pay for ads? Should I pay a sales guy or girl?
Yeah, no, it's so just to kind of answer the first side of it, before I work with any business, I ask them, what is your website conversion rate? Because we could send them 1,000 leads, but if their website isn't converting, waste of time, waste of money for them, right? What is their sales conversion rate? So especially, obviously, e-com, they buy a product, you can track it. But it's a lot harder with service-based businesses.
Right.
So a big part of what we do with the service-based businesses is I ask them, what's your sales percentage rate, conversion rate? And if that's low, don't pay for ads yet. Get your website conversion rate up, get your sales team going, and then let's talk about ads. But at the end of the day, what these guys were talking about it's like it's really hard. Even if people sign up, you think, oh, fantastic, I have something in my calendar. 50% of them don't show up, and then you're paying the salespeople. And do you pay by the hour? Do you pay by commission? Are you the salesperson? So it's actually something that I struggle a little bit with my own agency. Is it takes a lot of time and leadership from your perspective to have a sales team that is going to convert really high. So part of setting up the Google Ads account is to make sure that you're driving high quality leads to that website. So not just crap, right? You want people who have high intent, who are going to fill in that form, who are going to pick up the phone and call the business. So I don't know that it's an either or. I think it's more of what sort of budget do you have in your availability within your business, and just making sure that if you are going to do paid ads, your website converts and then your sales team converts, and that you are getting those customers through, because it kind of intertwines together. Like if your sales team is not that great and they're not converting, don't drive people to them yet. Get them set up and ready to go.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, thank
Hi.
you so much for your time today. I
Yeah.
just have a quick question. I'm running 90% of my ads on social with an opportunity to grow what we do on Google. Historically, I've done a lot of Google ads, but at this current position, it's been, we're marketing to seniors in the healthcare space. So
Okay.
it's kind of like it works out there for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in your audit. What exactly are you looking for? Like some top 3 things just to kind of look out for?
Yeah, so the first thing I look at is tracking. So there's about 8 key points that we look at in the audit, but tracking is the first thing, because the thing is, if you don't have tracking set up for profit, it's kind of like walking into a dark cave without a flashlight. Like you don't know what the heck's going on. So tracking, also just the actual setup of the I don't want to say campaign, of the account. So how are the campaigns set up? I noticed that people will have like 100 keywords in one ad group, just making sure that you're not wasting ad spend on. Sometimes people get excited. It's like, oh, this keyword is getting a lot of traction. It's getting a lot of clicks. It's getting a lot of impressions. And it's like, okay, well, how much is the cost per conversion? What is the client's conversion goal? What is their return on investment goal? And if that keyword is way higher, then yeah, it's great, it's getting traction, but it's blowing the budget and it's not allowing the other long tail keywords to get more information. Because at the end of the day, Google wants to make money. So if a 1 to 2 word keyword is bringing in all the budget, they're going to push that keyword more than the other ones. They don't distribute it evenly. So really the targeting, the return, what's the goal for the client, and the account structure, and then we get into more detail after that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
So you mentioned a brand campaign versus a regular Google ad campaign. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little more on the difference between the two.
Yeah, so I love brand campaigns. They're really easy to set up because the only keyword that you're targeting is the brand name. And you want to set up a negative keyword list for that and add your brand keyword as a phrase match to all of the other campaigns. So the reason you do that is you're telling Google that I don't want to show any of my ads from these other campaigns. I want to drive it all to the brand because it's going to get a higher quality score, which brings down your cost per click. And brand, because you're bidding on your own brand anyway, it's usually a very low cost per click compared to other keywords. So you could even start off with like a $5 to $10 a day budget, and that's probably enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, I think I'm out of time. If anyone has any other questions, I would love to speak to all of you. I could nerd out about Google Ads all day long. So please come say hi, and thank you again for your time.